Happy Thursday, everyone. I'm Brian with the Donatucci Branch Library, and today is Tutorial Thursday.
Tutorial Thursdays.
So for this week, what I'm going to teach you is how you can get help for someone that may have a problem with drugs or alcohol. Okay. Now, I know a good deal about this because if you didn't know this about me, I am a recovering alcoholic and addict. Okay, and I have a little over 10 years clean and sober, so I kind of know how to do this. I know how to get help, even though back then I didn't want help, and I'm going to talk about that too. And also, I used to work at a drug and alcohol rehab before I worked at the library. So I have some insider tips and tricks, okay? Now, if you have a loved one who has a drinking problem or they have a drug problem, it's kind of difficult because until they realize that they have a drug and alcohol problem, there's not much you can do, okay? Now, that doesn't mean don't talk to them at all about it. Now, of course, bring it up, but you have to feel out the situation, feel out the conversation, you know? If they start getting defensive and saying stuff like, oh, I don't have a problem, I have it under control, or start denying that they drink or as much as they do or anything like that, don't become combative. Don't argue with them. It's not going to help. It's actually going to make things worse. It's going to push them away farther, and then it's going to take them even longer for them to want help, okay? Best thing to do is just to tell them, say, hey, listen, when you do decide, or if you decide that you ever do need help, or if this ever does become a problem, I'm here for you. And you can come to me and we can go get help together. That's the best thing you could do, because otherwise you're going to be talking until you're blue in the face, and you're just going to drive them away even farther, okay? A lot of times they'll come up with excuses if they do admit that they have a problem, but you know they don't want to go to rehab. Some people are just against the idea of rehab. Okay, some people might come up with excuses like, my job. I can't leave my job in 30 days, and you can go the route and explain to them that if you continue on the path that you're going down, eventually you're going to get fired from that job, or you can go another route. You can talk to them and say, hey, okay, well, if you really don't want to go to rehab, would you at least try maybe a 12-step program? Or an outpatient program even, where they can just go a couple times a week or whatever. Because they don't have to go away for an entire month or 2 months or whatever it is. They can continue to go to work every day and maybe still go to meetings and get the help that they need, okay? So that's always an option too, all right? Now, if they are ready, or if you're an addict or alcoholic yourself and you're watching this video and you want to know how you want to get help, well, first things first, if they're asking you for help that day, get help immediately. Don't wait till next week, okay? Because I can tell you as a former addict, okay, that there were days when I wanted help, and for whatever reason, I didn't go and do it or whatever. I told myself I'll do it tomorrow. But then tomorrow came, and now all of a sudden my mind's like, well, this ain't, I'm not that bad. I'll be okay. And that's what happens with addicts and alcoholics. One day, we really need help. We're having a really bad day, and we just don't want to live like this no more. But then the next day it ain't too bad, so we don't want help no more. So if you have someone trying to get help, act on it immediately, okay? Don't wait till tomorrow, don't wait till next week, okay? If they do want help, okay, what you want to do is, first off, if they have insurance, you have to look on the back of the card, okay? Like I have Aetna insurance now, and you see on the back of the card, it has all these phone numbers, right? Now, you can call member services, and they'll connect you to the right department, but if you look up here, it says call behavioral health, and it has a phone number. That's what you want. You want behavioral health because addiction and alcoholism it's a behavioral problem, okay? And that's the number you want to call. and they will instruct you on what to do, okay? Now, speaking from experience, okay, and working at a rehab, I know this is not true in every case, and I hate the stereotype, but in my experience, most addicts and alcoholics too, they probably have welfare insurance, okay? And if that's the case, then you want to call this phone number for CBH. It's Community Behavioral Health. Okay, and let me pull up the number right here. And I'll put it on the screen too, just so you guys have it, you can write it down. But like I said, I hate the stereotype, but just in my experience, that's what most people have when they have drug problems, okay? I know it's not always the case, okay? Okay, but the phone number is 215-413-3100. And that's for CBH, Community Behavioral Health. And again, they would tell you, you talk to them and tell them what the problem is. You can even call for somebody as long as they're right there, because they're going to have to speak to them directly. But you can call and make the phone. I highly suggest that, because for an addict or an alcoholic to pick up the phone themselves and actually dial, it's a huge barrier, okay? And it really helps if someone else is there and actually makes that call for them, and then just hands the phone off to them when the person needs to talk to them. All right? Now, if you have no insurance at all right, you'll want to call BHSI. Now, what is BHSI? It's temporary funding that will get you into a drug and alcohol treatment center or a detox center or wherever you need to go. And it's just temporary funding, and then once you're there, a lot of times the rehab facility will sign you up for the welfare insurance so you can continue treatment and stuff. But it gets your foot in the door, and that's the most important step. So for BHSI, the phone number is 215-546-1200. Okay? Now, if they don't want treatment at all, okay, but they do know they have a problem, but they just don't want to go to rehab for whatever reason, whatever excuses they come up, try to talk to them into going to an AA or NA meeting, right? Like I mentioned that before, because it might work if they have work and stuff. And if you want to find a meeting, it's hard to say exactly when and where they are because there's so many of them around. But I'm just going to give you a website here that you can actually go to. So this one on the screen right now, that's for the AA if they have a problem with alcohol. It's suggested if you have a problem with drugs, you can go to NA. But if you have a problem with both, look, you can just go to AA too. It'll be okay. It doesn't really matter which one you go to. Just go to any 12-step meeting, okay? Now, if your problem is strictly drugs and you just feel more comfortable going to NA, go to this website right here to find NA meetings, okay? And you'll see there's a meeting finder on the websites, and you can just search and, and just search your area and what time or what day of the week that you want the meeting to go to. And you'll find one. And, sometimes even if you have someone that wants to go, okay, and you're not an alcoholic or addict yourself, try to find a meeting that says open meeting, okay? Because if it's an open meeting, that means you, even though you're not an alcoholic or an addict, you can still go with them, all right? And that, a lot of times, will really help, okay? And if it is your first time going to a meeting, whoever has the problem, if you yourself are an alcoholic or addict and it's your first time going to a meeting, I highly suggest just raising your hand and just introducing yourself. You don't have to say anything else, okay? Even if you're not ready to admit you're an alcoholic or whatever, you can just say, "Hi, I'm Brian, and this is my first time at this meeting. Thanks for letting me share." That's all you have to say, okay? And, people, I guarantee you, people will come up to you after the meeting and they will help you, and you'll feel very welcomed. Okay, you really will. And if you're with someone, if you're bringing someone to the meeting, someone who is an alcoholic or an addict, if you're bringing them, but you yourself are not, don't force them to. Don't be like, you have to raise your hand. Don't bring it up, suggest it to them, but like, hey, look, I think you should just raise your hand, just introduce yourself. You know, if they don't want to do it, don't force them. Okay, it's totally their decision. Okay, so one thing I forgot is a lot of meetings right now are closed because of COVID. So they're doing them on Zoom. If you probably heard of the app, it's, you know, you could do it on your phone or on your computer, and it's like a virtual meeting where you would actually you can just sit there and listen to people talking on the screen, or you can actually become active and talk yourself. So I suggest doing that if you can't get to a meeting right now and you really just want to try a meeting. I suggest do that. Good thing about that is you don't have to go anywhere. You could do it right from your home, you know, so it's kind of perfect. But you'll see on the websites I gave you, if you find a meeting, a lot of them will have a link to the Zoom, and you can just click on the link and it should bring you right to the Zoom meeting. And sometimes they might give you a password that you might need to get into the meeting, so just follow whatever it says on the screen and just click on that link, okay? You know, that's pretty much it. And listen, if anyone has any questions or anything at all, any advice that you need related to this topic, feel free to call the branch or when we open, stop in and talk to me, and I'll gladly help you out the best I can, okay? So I hope this video helped, and if you do have a loved one who has a problem, I really wish them the best, okay? And I'll keep them in my prayers and all that, and I hope you all have a good day, okay? And I'll see you tomorrow for Funny Friday, all right? So stay tuned. See you all later. Bye.